Hello, everybody. Today I'm excited to introduce you to Matt. Matt has been in the business for 35 years, with 29 years of those, 29 of those years spent right here in Milton. His journey started early when he has been in this field since the age of 14, working in greenhouses and garden centers, as well as in his family's vineyards and oh sorry, vineyards and orchid. Correct me if I'm pronouncing it wrong. Orchard or
Orchard. Yep.
orchard. Over the years, he has built a strong background in sales and marketing, particularly in fertilizers and um, pesticides. Is that correct?
Pesticides. Yep.
Yeah, and has been shared his knowledge as a college instructor in horticulture. Hort- Horticulture, okay.
You felt yep.
We will repeat that. I didn't read it in advance. I didn't
Oh,
prepare
that's okay.
myself,
That's
but we
okay.
can re-record this part later. So Matt enjoys gardening, cooking, and reading. No surprise, there is given his passion for the outdoors. Uh, he's based in Milton, and what really drives him is helping people create outdoor spaces they love, making homes more livable and enjoyable. So, welcome, Matt, and I'm happy to test this recording with you. It's the first one, so I would love to learn more about you and what you do. So great background, many years of experience. Um, but how do you utilize all these years right now? So tell me more.
What do you mean utilize these? Like what?
Uh, okay, so how do you um, um, make you? Oh, how can I say that? Apply what you have learned or like the experience that you have in your current work. So you do you prefer to talk about like the company is like, okay, how do you find this? Help me with that. I don't know.
Sure. No, no. Well, I think it's kind of twofold because we've got Morgan and I are trying to help our clients really enjoy their outdoor spaces. Um, that can be a really, really expensive project, or it can be a very simple project, like just creating some gardens or improving people's lawns that they can just go out and take their shoes off at the end of the day and wander through their lawns. And the other point of this is we've got 4 employees, and they're all horticultural apprentices. So we're teaching them as much as they want to take in about horticulture, about landscaping, about running a business. We're trying to be rivers, so we're letting the information flow through us rather than reservoirs. So we're very very open with our clients and our employees.
So we're talking about your own business, your veteran, right?
Mm-hmm.
Landscaping and design. Um, it is. I mean, in the Canadian market, outdoors are something is essential. I mean, the moment
Yes,
the weather gets better out of like spring or like going through the spring, everybody goes out.
that's right.
So what would you suggest to the homeowners or business owners who have a yard or a backyard that they want to maintain?
I think the first one is water.
Yeah.
Especially in new subdivisions, the construction companies don't really grade very well, so we end up with a lot of gardens that are unusable the first part of the season. So I think the first thing is get rid of excess water, and try to figure out what it is you actually want. We're going to see a client in the next week or so in Georgetown, and she told me yesterday they don't even go outside. They don't even have people over in the summer because they're so ashamed of their yard. And it really is not difficult to get things under control and looking decent. Not everybody wants a really complex landscape. Some people just want to be able to sit in the shade and listen to the birds. So my first two pieces of advice are deal with water because everybody's got an issue with water, it seems, and figure out what it is you want to do. So imagine in your mind what it looks like when you're sitting in your finished landscape. And if you can close your eyes and say, okay, I see a tree, I hear water, I might even hear some music. They may want to extend their season and put in like a quartz heater so that they can go out on a cold winter sunny day but still be comfortable.
So that means you take care of not only the landscaping, you're designing the entire outdoor space for them, right?
Absolutely.
Would you recommend them, like if a client is looking for like maintaining their greeneries and they need to enhance the look of it? So what other services do you offer other than the landscaping within your company?
Landscaping's a weird word because it encompasses so many. And if you look up the definition, it just means moving soil around.
Well,
So we do hardscapes, so we build patios and pathways. Um, we do water features, so if somebody wants some water in their garden, we can do aluminum pergolas. We're working with a supplier partner who designs and builds aluminum pergolas. Um, so we can pretty much, with our network, do anything the client can envision.
basically, yeah, it's like you make it ready for them to enjoy.
That's right. And we're turnkey. So, I mean, they leave, they come back, and it's done. It may not be that quick, but it's done.
I mean,
The
yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, no, and our plant knowledge is unsurpassed by any other company because my wife is not quite involved with the business, but she helps. She's retired. Pardon me. We're both graduates of the Niagara Parks Commission School of Horticulture. I've been doing this for 40 years. So there's 80 years of experience between my wife and I. And then my son's got almost 10 or 15 years of experience. So we've almost got a century of plant knowledge. And the really cool thing is we're all interested in different areas. I'm trees and shrubs. My wife and my son are perennials. My wife's got an amazing color palette. So she does amazing things, and Morgan's kind of a generalist and doing. So we choose some pretty funky plants for gardens, and just because they're funky doesn't mean they're hard to take care of. They're just things that you haven't seen before and unique, and some of them attract certain pollinators or birds or butterflies and things like that.
And I think that's what impresses me the most. I remember the time when you were looking at my front yard,
Oh yeah,
and you said that this tree called, for me it was a maple
yep,
tree because the leaves were like looked that shape, but for you it was a specific kind of tree that grows. And I told my wife is like, um, Matt said that this tree is gonna grow long and it's gonna grow big. That is going to cover the entire front, like of the
yep,
house. And this is what's happening now. It reached the level, like the
wow, yep,
beyond the level, the second level, and it's just so big.
yes. And I think that's what kind of sets us apart from a lot of landscape companies who might just now yours was a municipal tree, but a lot of landscapers know how to do the stone but not the plants. So then they choose something, put it in the landscape, and it's either way too big or not suited for the environment, and we can pick the absolute best thing for the spots.
And I think this is what we're missing in the current market because as you can see, there are lots of cookie cutter in every industry. People go with
Oh,
the
absolutely.
what is available or what the suppliers offer them, but they don't really dig more and see, okay, what really suits my house, my lifestyle.
Mhm.
Because some plants they need more attention than others, right?
That's
And
exactly. And
uh,
we've got clients that like to garden, so the end result's a little more complex. We've got clients that don't want to garden, so we set it up so that our team could go in maybe once a month or just twice a year and do some maintenance on the plants, and right up to they don't want to touch it. So we have weekly clients as well.
right, because it's a lot of work. I mean,
Mhm.
when you look at the backyard or like and the greenery, it's beautiful when you see it, but how it gets there, it took a lot of work. It took a lot of expertise behind it. So I totally recognize this with you and your expertise because I feel it's not about what the other clients are having in their space. It's more of what this particular client is happy to have in their space or their yard,
Yep.
and how they are able to maintain it for a long period of time, because the cost of maintaining it, it's also a big part of having a beautiful nature. um, but with your expertise, I feel they have the chance to see how they want to maintain it, and how deep they want to go with the with the gardening, if
Right.
they want, what I mean. Yeah,
So
so that go ahead.
when we have clients that express they're nervous about having a complex garden, we simplify the plant palette so it's easier to take care of.
Yeah, and talking about the client, so what is the process of, let's say, if you got a call from a client, what is the process that you go through to um, get that client to what they are looking for?
What and then oh sorry, an initial visit.
Hmm.
There are some companies that actually charge for the initial consultation, and we don't. We walk around. This is a landscape design and installation client. Um, we try to get a feel for what they want. We really like it when they open up and just say this is what we want. And a lot of people have some ideas from Pinterest or just other websites that they send along. Some of them unachievable because they're tropical plants in a Canadian climate, but we can maybe get close with shape and form. We walk through what they're looking for, their needs, their likes, their wants, their don't wants. Some people don't want certain colors or certain things in their garden. And then we, at the time, can come up with a fairly loose price for them. And okay, everything you've talked about is probably in this price range. Is that what you're thinking of? And if it is, we have a small design fee that we charge. And we have an agreement that we're going to do a landscape design, which the client then owns. So some clients might want to try to do it themselves, or maybe get the design done now and do the work later, or break it up into certain projects. And then we do landscape design for them. And once they're happy with it, I can't remember how many iterations we do, but usually the first capture that we do with a client is the right one. And then there might be some tweaking beyond that, but we're pretty good at trying to figure out what the client wants. And then if they like the design, we put a firm proposal together. We have an agreement we sign, and away we go.
That's honestly, the more structured, the easier for everybody to to go through the process, right? Because it is very difficult for you as a contractor to come in and say, hey, this is what we're gonna do and this is how much it will cost you,
Right.
versus when you dig in the ground, there might be some surprises. You never know, or the client changes their mind sometimes throughout the process, and that affects the entire code or the proposal that you have provided them with. So
Yeah, absolutely. But I think with it's probably I don't know how to word this, but I think that the clients we've got, because we express ourselves clearly, know what they want. We have a two-dimensional and a three-dimensional plan we can show them, so we can sort of walk them through the garden. We are very clear with the plants. We give basically a plant catalog to the prospect, the client,
wow.
um, and we do a chart that shows when they're going to bloom. We try to make the color or the experience of the landscape as close to 12 months as possible. So I think it gets frustrating when the client changes their mind for sure, and with us it doesn't happen that often.
I mean, if the client the clients usually change their minds based on different ideas, different people like
Yep,
evolving, which is normal, and I think it's fair for them to share
absolutely.
their
Yeah,
thoughts and visions. And it is also fair for the contractor to say what is the best for them, because as you mentioned before, is like everything can be done. I mean, if you want me to put the tree in that space, you don't have a problem, but is it in the benefit of the client or no?
ex-
So yeah, that's what I feel is like, this is what we need to make sure that the client understands, like anything can be done
that's
regardless
right.
of
Yeah,
what the cost or the process or but what benefits you the most, how it's going to be easier for you and the long-term maintenance of that space. um, because in the end of the day, you don't want the client to say, "Oh, I'm the, I'm not comfortable maintaining it for a long period of time."
right.
I It's like that's where your expertise comes in and say, "Listen, you want it to be for the next. It's a big investment. It's a major upgrade for any house. So let's do it right."
Exactly. And one
I
of my biggest frustrations is a lack of there's no barriers to entry into our trade. So we end up with the majority of the contractors out there, in air quotes, that don't install correctly. So we install to the highest engineering standards so that an interlock driveway or patio or pathway or retaining wall is going to be there in for a long time. One of the things I do in my BNI presentation is I took a photograph of a job I did in 1999. I took the photograph in 2023, and the interlock is all dead level. Yeah, so it's the interlock is worn out from the traffic, not heaved or anything.
that's that's exactly what the customers are looking for, right? And
Yeah,
especially nowadays that you can go out and see different options or even different applications methods, but in their mind they want the long lasting method and outcome, which is
yes,
probably it's not going to happen if if the application was wrong, or the material that they chose were it's not what it's supposed to be. So to achieve the last longing the long lasting kind of application, then we need to start right from the beginning.
Yeah, exactly. And one of our frustrations is social media, and they show these people putting a patio in an afternoon, which may work in Florida, but it certainly doesn't work in Canada. We have um, that thing we just passed through called winter, and the freezing water is one of the most powerful things on the planet. So we have to protect the landscape, mainly in the winter, especially the hardscape, from moving, from frost heave.
That's amazing. I mean, and you will never know how much it's that like how much work involved in that until you
Oh,
start asking it. And when I met you the first time, I remember I was listening to you is like, holy, this is all I need to consider all these, for my backyard,
yep,
which
yeah,
honestly, and that's the reason why we keep spending every spring to buy a new plant, to garden one more time. So every spring we do the same thing, and we spend thousands and thousands of dollars throughout many years, thinking that, I we need to refresh the planters or the
right.
flowers. But this is, it could be um, treated differently if you choose the right plant that blooms, during the right time, and gives you the look by itself without really planting or gardening the space year over year.
Yeah,
Because
that's
I have
absolutely
a
correct.
friend, I have a friend that he every time like every spring or summer we go to their to visit them, they have a new plant at the backyard. It's like, have you seen what I've done this year? I have a new set of plants, and it is like time consuming. It it is costly, and it repeats the process comes back every year. So I feel like it's better to have it done right from the beginning and then enjoy your spring and summer without any hassle.
Absolutely.
That's amazing. And from this point of like at this point of time in we're in spring now, right? What is
Mhm.
your suggestions to your clients to do in this
The
period of
worst thing right now are the guys knocking on your door to aerate your lawn.
mm,
They came through my neighborhood last weekend. The most in my career, I've aerated two lawns that needed it.
mm,
So most lawns don't need it. It's not a primary maintenance practice
mm,
recommended by the Guelph Turfgrass Institute or the University of Guelph, the Ontario Ministry of Agriculture, Food, all the big U.S. universities. It's no, you don't aerate unless you need to.
mm.
So stay off your lawn. Just sit in a lawn chair, have a cup of tea, and let things start growing. So there's not much to do right now unless you've got some particular pruning that needs to be done of what we call summer flowering plants. So things like potentilla and roses, they can be pruned now. But most just relax for a few weeks and let the plant start growing. Mid-May is when we start doing invasive stuff on turf. So um, at that point, if your lawn needs it, that's an okay time to dethatch or to aerate. The very best time to do this kind of stuff is in August, believe it or not. So right now, it's just enjoy your garden. And it's such a nice, I mean, well, it's now cloudy, but it was sunny a little earlier and it was a beautiful day out. So right now, one of our crews, one of our teams is at a garden in Oakville. They're cleaning off the lawn because it was covered with pine cones. They're doing some pruning of mulberries and some other spring flower or summer flowering plants. But we're not doing anything invasive on the lawn. We're just being gentle. Yeah,
That's amazing. Matt, it's always great to talk to you, and
and you
thank
as
you.
well, Louay. You're an awesome. I learn so much from you every time we have a chat.
Well, and we will continue the conversation. We will, you know, probably see what the the customers are looking for, or what
Yeah,
sort of learning they need to have from you. And probably we will come back and talk about specific topic where you can advise
beautiful. Yeah,
the
we're
people.
we're here to help. That's, I mean, our goal is to get people outside and enjoying it, and that seriously, that's it. So
I know. I personally know, and I believe in what you're doing and your expertise. So that's why it's important to go out and talk about. Even for myself, you're my contractor and my go-to person to when it is the time for the landscaping. And when I refer you to my clients, as I know who I am referring, and I know that they are in great hands. And
I appreciate that. Thank you.
that's why is important to have the right people and doing the right thing
Exactly.
for the clients. Yeah. Anyways, thank you so much again, and we will catch up soon.
You bet. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Thank you. So I'll
Bye.
stop recording now, but just stay on.
Sure.
Okay.